Did we do it?
But
We did it. That was entirely on me. It's because I'm an elder millennial and barely know how to work my own devices.
hey, no problem at all. We are here now in the moment. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone tuning in. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm Annalie with Broadway in Chicago. We are chatting with the very talented and very Julio Sullivan from
And
the
not very tech savvy. Hello.
No problem at all. Already. So to kick us off, I'm going to go through some rapid fire questions just to get to know you a bit first. So
Lightning round.
what was the last show you saw that wasn't the play that goes wrong?
Ooh, I saw a couple of shows in New York while we were there rehearsing. I saw Is This a Room, which was fantastic, which was in rep with Dana H., which was also incredible. And I saw Company with the Patti LuPone. So got spoiled in New York while I was there seeing all of those amazing shows.
That sounds incredible. What is your favorite spot around Chicago to hang out?
To hang out?
Yeah.
Well, currently my couch, that's where I've been for 2 years. But if I were allowed to go hang out anywhere in Chicago right now, oh, it's so sad. I used to love all these places that have closed. I used to love Tiny Lounge and Fountainhead and things on the north side that I think of. God, this is depressing. I have to find a new place to hang out. But can I say my couch or my friends' couches?
I, I totally relate to that. There's two as well. What is your favorite
What's my favorite what?
dessert?
Dessert. Oh, I love a cheesecake. When I was really little, my mom would buy the Sara Lee frozen cheesecakes just from like the local Walmart. And I would, like, as a 5-year-old, just like eat the entire thing by myself. And so, yeah, I think cheesecake is number
Oh,
one.
so delicious. What was the first show that you were ever in? It does not need to be a professional show.
At 6 years old, I was in the Arkansas Art Center Children's Theater production of Little Women. I played one of the Hummel children who gets the fever and eventually kills Beth with that transmissible fever. And I didn't die on stage, but I knew the weight of the role. I think all I did was like skip across the stage and open up some presents every night. But it got me started on my love of drama, knowing the impact that a small role could have on the lead characters.
Very exciting. And then what is your current favorite album, artist, song that you're listening to?
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Phoebe Bridgers lately. I feel like I'm, 10 steps behind, but I really love her and I love, how wacky but also incredibly talented she is. So I would say Phoebe Bridgers, right? And she's dating Paul Mescal from Normal People. So I'm living vicariously through her.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start at the very beginning. First of all, The Play That Goes Wrong is chock full of really talented Chicago actors. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about Chicago origins and your connection to Chicago.
Oh my gosh, I've lived in Chicago since 2006 and have been working here professionally ever since. And I really love it because they say that you don't get famous in Chicago, but you do a lot of great work here. And I really love the type of personality that draws. And so I've been doing, plays, small plays, big plays here for a really, really long time and just love that ensemble feel. I think it's so different than any other city that you can act in. So I feel like I've worked with a great number of people and yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Mm, that's exciting. So you mentioned how the first show, Little Women, is that what sparked your love for acting, or was acting something that you had to grow into?
I think I loved it from then, especially because I was not like a coordinated sports kid, but I love being part of a team. And from that age, I was like, oh, this is how the weirdos get to play a team sport, is you get to all go and make something that's larger than the individual. And I really, even more than acting, I think I was really drawn to that sense of being part of a community at age 6. It's where I still continue to make my best friends. I have my best friend from that age, from when we started doing theater together. And so that sense of group dynamic, I think, was the thing that made me say, like, oh, I want to keep doing this over and over.
Mm, awesome. You are not only a very talented actor, but you also are a filmmaker. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. I wrote my first screenplay. This is actually something I'm kind of proud of. I wrote my first screenplay at age 34. I'm about to turn 38. And I think oftentimes we can feel sort of like stuck on the path that we're on. And I had started feeling not pigeonholed as an actor, because I think you can only be pigeonholed if you're famous, but like there weren't a lot of outlets for me to act in the kind of roles that I wanted and tell the stories that I wanted. And so I started writing this script and made it with all Chicago actors. And I became really addicted to that feeling of not just being a component of the story, which is what acting is, but really getting to have a stronger voice in what story is being told. And so now, hopefully I'll continue acting on stage forever, but I also want to continue making films forever.
Mm. Is there a certain niche or genre you like to make films about?
I mean, I think sort of, I hate the word dramedy, but something that can encompass the way that we are as human beings, which is one second things are hilarious and the next second you're crying and there's no telling what the next moment is going to be like. And I would say things that have sort of a feminist lens without ever feeling like, oh, and this is a social issue that you're taking your medicine on. Hopefully things that feel light and funny, but also have pathos and that might be dealing with issues that we all experience but don't talk about a lot.
Absolutely. Do you have any advice for creatives such as yourself who like different types of mediums like theater and also filmmaking? And those are a bit of different worlds. And someone who has had such success as you and going on to South by Southwest and winning awards.
Yeah. I would say as much as you can form relationships with people who do more than one thing, people who are also trying to explore, themselves creatively rather than, oh, I'm just an actor or I'm just a director, people who are like interested in doing more, because then that'll inspire you and say, oh, I think I can do more too. And you'll be able to trade skill sets. Like my partner is an incredible film director. And so I was very fortunate that I was able to turn literally to my side 90 degrees and be like, I'm writing something. Do you want to direct it? And then he was able to bring in all of his relationships. And so I think especially in Chicago, where community is so strong, to seek out communities beyond just theater or beyond just whatever you're doing and try to be a part of, the creative environment as a whole.
Absolutely. So you say yes to filmmaking, and today you are with The Play That Goes Wrong. What made you say yes to this show?
That thing that you're only allowed so much time on social media, and it tried to kick me off, but I hit ignore. What was your question again?
What made you say yes to The Play That Goes Wrong?
Honestly, all of the pandemic, I just kept saying, I want to do another play. Because you can write on your own, which I was doing some of, but I really missed the communal experience of being on stage with other people. And so when the audition came up, I thought, well, this is what I've literally been writing in my journal about for 2 years, is the chance to be on stage again with people. And then I went and I did the audition, and it was so fun and it was so silly. And it was a joy to just be able to laugh. And so it felt like, the perfect thing to do at this moment.
How was that transition for you, going from this lull of the pandemic to now being back on stage?
I felt rusty as hell. I mean, I think a lot of actors are feeling this way, but I was like, how does a person walk across the stage? How do you go from sitting on your couch for 2 years and only speaking to 3 people who aren't on screens to then being in a room filled with 500 people? And so for me, it was a little bit baptism by fire, by just trusting the work that I put in my career up to this point, and saying like, you can rely on that. But even still, sometimes I'll be up on stage and I'll be like, oh my God, this is so weird. We're in a room full of people and it's so different than what it's been. But also a really incredible thing. I find myself standing on stage and being like, oh my God, we're in a room together. And what a joy that is.
For those who aren't familiar, what is The Play That Goes Wrong?
The Play That Goes Wrong is a play within a play. It's The Murder at Haversham Manor is the play that's being put on by this group of amateur Brits. And they all love theater and they take their unpaid jobs very seriously of doing this play. And so as they start to perform the Murder at Haversham Manor, little things that you might normally see in theater that go wrong, they start to go wrong, except all of the things that could go wrong are happening on the same night in this crescendo of mishaps. And so it's about, if you've ever thought about, oh, if I went to, go see a play, what could possibly go wrong? All of the things go wrong in this play.
And it is a hilarious play for all who have seen it. You know that you were laughing the entire time. But for those who haven't, why should we go see this play today?
I really do think there's something so special about being in a group of people all laughing at the same thing. I mean, I really like that is the magic of it right now is we've been robbed of that for so long. Things are pretty rough out there, and it's really nice to be able to go and sit. Like I went and I saw the play in New York and I'd never seen it before. And for 2 hours, I didn't think about any of the things that have been making me anxious for the past 2 years. I sat and I laughed and I had the experience of being able to like hear the laughter around me, and that made me giggle more. And there's something that's so freeing about being able to do that collectively right now.
Mm. Yes, the audience just laughing the entire time. How do you keep a straight face?
Oh, I don't. I don't. I mean, depending on the night, I've been telling my scene partner, Jared, that I really have to just like look at his cheek instead of looking in his eyes. And there's some times that I just laugh and I have to, I'll turn up stage and try to hide it. And other times that I do actually, I just embrace it and I'm laughing. But that's part of the joy of it too, is that it is actually so funny. And I find my scene partners so funny that I have to just embrace, like, we're all having a good time. Occasionally I'm going to break and slightly less professional. The rest of the cast is much more professional than I am, and they're able to maintain a straight face, but I just don't.
We have a question here. What is your favorite scene from the show?
Oh, my favorite scene from the show is a scene that I'm not in. Ernasia Curry, I won't spoil anything, but she plays the stage manager, and she's delivering one of the funniest performances I've ever seen on stage. And so when she first comes in and really takes control of the scene, that is my favorite scene, and I'm not in it, and she's just hilarious.
There are, I feel, a lot of cues that you probably have to hit for this show because a lot of things do go wrong. What kind of prep did you have to do for the show in preparing for everything that you need to know and preparing physically as well? Because it's a very physical show.
Yeah, I wish that I had prepared more. I wish that I had worked out more. But really what I did was I went and I saw the production, and then I talked to the cast members who are currently in that production. And we had some people who have played these roles before prepare us physically. They taught us the fight choreography. They taught us the movement. And they told us, here are the things you're going to want to strengthen. Like for my character specifically, they were like, start working on your core. And so I've been pretty good about that. And then luckily we have physical therapy every week, so that the things that we are dealing with physically in the show, that then we can go and try to repair as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. You have a little bit of a fun question from one of your co-stars right here from Joseph. What's your favorite music from the show?
Oh my gosh. Oh, Joseph, I'm so glad you asked. So patrons at Intermission, there is a piece of music during Intermission that is so jaunty and so fun. And one of our understudies, Brennan Stacker, she was like this incredible rhythmic gymnast. And so Joseph, who plays Jonathan in the show, has mentally fully choreographed a piece to this jaunty music that plays. So as you're watching it, Intermission, you'll see a big red curtain. And when you hear this piece of music come on, you'll know it. It'll just hit you in your soul. Just know that Joseph is backstage fully choreographing a routine for Brennan to perform one day.
Oh, that's incredible. And we are coming close to the end of our time here, but I do have one last question. What advice would you give other actors who are early in their career, especially those who are in Chicago, as you yourself are a Chicago actor?
I really do think it's all about finding your people in terms of the relationships that you want to build. If you love the work that a certain theater company is putting out, if you're like, that really speaks to me, then really as much as you can trying to form a relationship with them. I truly think it's about the people and not just about the art that's being made, but about, the foundations of respect and camaraderie. So I would say, I mean, Amy Poehler says this, but she's like, find your people and make the work that you want to make with them. And there's no better town to do that than Chicago. Chicago is very open armed. It loves new and up and coming theater companies and up and coming artists. So I would say just like find your people, be bold about the things you want to make. Don't worry; it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. The city is so supportive of people putting on things in like a garage. Some of my favorite things I've ever seen have happened in a garage somewhere in the city. So I would say find your people and be bold in making the kind of work you want to make.
That's so perfect. Chicago is truly the place to be. Kelly, thank you so much for sharing your time and talents with us. Everyone watching, seriously, you won't want to miss The Play That Goes Wrong. It's so hilarious. It's playing at the Broadway Playhouse through April 3rd. Get your tickets, broadwayinchicago.com. Kelly, thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Yes, thanks for having me and for your patience. I'm glad we were able to make it work.
Me too. Alrighty, everyone, have a wonderful day. Kelly, have a great weekend, and see y'all soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye.